My happy place is at the riverbank where I am seated and my feet are dipped. You know, a river is so surprising and full of its little chaos. Hi guys, welcome back to Nancy's Empowerment Hub, where we nurture mental and emotional wellness. This is a long-awaited and promised video, part 2 on emotional resilience. In our last video, we covered the concept of emotional resilience, and this is that ability of bouncing back from intense emotions. We covered different emotions like euphoria, rage, and anxiety. If you haven't watched yet, the video is available on my channel. In this video, we are going to cover the strategies and practical tips that we can implement into our daily lives to boost our emotional resilience. With this tip, we can be able to recognize, understand, and navigate through our emotional reactions constructively. So, I have about 6 strategies, and each strategy has different tips. Let's dive in. So the first strategy to boost our emotional resilience is self-awareness. More specifically, emotional self-awareness. When you have that high self-awareness on your emotion, you understand your emotional reactions. You can understand when they occur, why they occur, what causes them, and with this information, you understand how they influence you and affect you as an individual. They can influence your thought process and your character and your behavior. And with this awareness, you are able to respond effectively when you face challenging situations or adverse situations that really triggers your emotions. So there are different practical tips that I'm going to share that you can implement in your life to boost this self-awareness. The first practical tip to boost your self-awareness is daily emotional check-ins. So here, when you have an intense emotion, ask yourself, how am I feeling? Don't just give one word answer like, I'm feeling sad or I'm happy. I'm just okay, I am anxious, I am stressed, I'm feeling scared. Don't just use one word answer. When you have an intense emotion and you ask yourself how you're feeling, you're supposed to go deeper to understand why you're feeling like that. For example, instead of just saying you're feeling sad, you can go deeper and maybe uncover something like, I feel so alone, so lost, and this is what is making me feel sad. When you do emotional check-in, you are able to understand why you feel that way, and this information boosts you to respond effectively to what you're feeling at that moment. And this will help you to be more attuned with your inner self and respond effectively in addressing the emotional feeling that you're having. The second practical tip to boost emotional self-awareness is reflection. After an intense emotional reaction or emotional episode, for example, you experienced frustration or fear, after that event, ask yourself, what caused me to react like this? Maybe if you were frustrated, you could think, what really caused me to be frustrated? Maybe somebody said something that really triggered you or did something that triggered you. Probably they don't even know they did that. But when you reflect, you ask yourself, what caused me to feel like this? As you reflect, you can ask yourself another question like, how did I feel? Like maybe at that moment when you were furious, you felt your hands shaking, you felt your body temperature rising. How did you feel during that moment? Another question to reflect is, during that moment, what were my thoughts? What was I thinking about? Was I thinking about fighting? Was I thinking about, how can someone say something like that? How can they do this to me? How dare they? During that time, what were your thoughts? This is the moment of reflection. Lastly, you can ask yourself, how can I better respond next time? Next time I have an emotional reaction like this, how can I do better? You see, with this reflection, you create awareness of what happened, what triggered it, how did you feel about it, how did your body respond, and it helps you to understand your triggers and reactions. So when next time something happens and triggers you to be frustrated, The moment you will hit that frustration feeling, you will understand it because you reflected about it previously. The third practical tip that we can practice in our life to boost emotional self-awareness is the use of I statement. Learn and avoid to use the you statement. For example, when you're frustrated with someone, it is good to avoid the you statement like, you never listen to me, you always do what you want, you. Learn to use I statement. I feel ignored, unheard, or unseen when you don't communicate like this, when you don't respond. I feel when you. At this moment, at least you are able to pay attention exactly to what you're feeling. And with this, you can reflect and learn how to navigate a similar emotion when it happens again, because these are your emotions and they are your responsibility. The last practical tip to boost emotional self-awareness is the use of stop, challenge, and choose technique. When you are in an emotional situation, maybe something around you is happening or has happened, and you are having those emotional moments, it is good for you to pause and challenge your first emotional reaction that you have. For example, when you're in a conversation with someone and they say something that doesn't sit so well with you, and you just feel bad that they said that to you, the first thing that you're supposed to do is pause on that feeling, and then challenge your first reaction. Being frustrated because somebody said something that really triggered you. Maybe they didn't know that saying something like that can trigger you. That is why you need to pause, challenge your first reaction, and after that, you can choose your next response. For example, now after you have paused and you have challenged that reaction, and you have taken your moment, you can respond differently. For example, you can ask a question to clarify what they mean with what they said. Maybe they didn't even mean it the way you perceived it. So take a moment to pause, challenge your automatic reaction, and respond effectively. When we practice these practical tips, the first one is daily emotional check-in, the second one is reflecting on those emotions, the third one is using the I statement and avoid using the you statement, and the last one is taking a moment to pause, challenge what you are feeling, the automatic feeling that comes immediately after an event, and then choose to respond better. So having self-awareness, we understand our emotions, how they affect us, how they make us behave and react, and how to navigate around them constructively. So now we go to the strategy number 2 of boosting emotional resilience, and this is practicing mindfulness and relaxation techniques. This is my favorite of all. When we engage in techniques like meditation and deep breathing, they help to calm the mind and the body, and this reduces stress and anxiety in the process. So under this strategy, we have 6 amazing practical tips that we can implement into our daily lives. The first one is deep breathing technique, or 5-5 rule. This involves breathing deeply through your nose, counting 5, so those are about 5 seconds, holding that breath for 5 seconds, and then breathing out through your mouth on a count of 5 seconds. Do this repeatedly, your body will tell you when to stop. This technique is so important when you're feeling anxious and overwhelmed, because when you breathe in on a count of 5, hold it for 5 seconds and breathe out through your mouth on a count of 5, you activate part of nervous system in your body and you are able to reduce stress and calm your emotional state. So practice it often, especially when you feel intense emotions. The second practical tip to practice mindfulness so that you can boost your emotional resilience is body scan meditation. You know, when I first learned the concept of meditation, I used to struggle a lot because am I supposed to just sit still and just blank everything out? Am I supposed to focus on one particular sound? Like, am I supposed to really do that yoga pose? Because it is quite hard. So I was really struggling with meditation and I wanted to meditate until I found helpful YouTube videos about full body scan meditation. And so far, it has been my best form of meditation. So this requires you to sit or lie down on a comfortable position. You just choose a position that is comfortable for you. Then you close your eyes and you focus on your breath, how you're breathing, until your breaths become even and soft, and then you start now scanning your body from the legs all the way up to the head, or from the head all the way down to the legs. It just depends on which way you find more comfortable. So here you pay attention to your body. When you're doing that full body meditation, you need to let your mind wander and take control and do a full body scan. Let's say we are starting from the feet. You can mentally feel how your feet feels. So during the first times, you will find yourself moving physically, like when you're about to focus on your toes and you just find them wiggling. That's normal, but as you practice more, it will be only mental, where you scan your body mentally. You scan how your toes feel, how your legs feel, how your leg curls feel, how your knees feel, how your thighs feel, how your pelvic area feels, especially that one because it is the one in contact with the surface, whether you're sitting or lying down flatly. Like, you pay attention to how your back feels, you pay attention to how your stomach feels, you pay attention, like you scan with your mind how your chest, your shoulders, your hands, and at this moment actually you find yourself releasing a lot of tension, especially on the shoulder. If it doesn't happen, it's okay also. So you scan your neck, your face, how does it feel? You scan your head and feel how it feels. That is full body scan meditation. When you practice this technique, we bring awareness to the body, which helps us to release all the tension and the emotional buildup. You should practice this daily in your life. You can practice it in the morning so that you can start your day with full body awareness. Like lying there in bed, you just need to fully scan your body with your mind, or sitting there on the couch doing your morning stuff. It only takes about 10 minutes, or you can practice it before bed to calm and ease your mind to sleep. So now let's go to the third practical tip that boosts our mindfulness so that we can have emotional resilience, and this is progressive muscle relaxation. This is a simple technique of tensing and relaxing your muscles, and even in this technique you can start that procedure from your feet. You tense your feet for 5 to 10 seconds and then you relax them. If you're standing and you ground yourself and tense the legs, this is good because it goes almost all the way up and then you relax for 5 to 10 seconds. This practice is important because tension in the body mirrors stress. So when we progressively tense our muscles and relaxing them, reducing that tension helps to calm your mind and your body, and this helps you to reduce stress and anxiety and gain a relaxed feeling. So you can use this tip anytime you feel like you are in a stressful meeting, about to give a speech, or about to do public speaking, or after a tough conversation, or simply when you're feeling anxious. The fourth practical tip of practicing mindfulness is mindful breathing, or as we call it, counted breathing. So here you breathe in on a count of 4, hold that breath on a count of 4, breathe out with your nose on a count of 4, then pause for 4 seconds, and then repeat it as many times as you need. Your body will tell you when it is enough. The reason why this tip is important is because when we count our breath, we entirely focus on how we are breathing, and by focusing your attention on your breathing and counting, it helps to calm your mind and reduce any emotional intensity that you're having at that moment. And now we go to the fifth practical tip of practicing mindfulness, and this is mindful walking. This is paying attention to your physical surrounding and how you feel when you're walking. So when you're walking, you pay attention to how your feet feels when they hit the ground. It helps you to simply intentionally notice small things like how the ground feels. Is it softer? Is it slopey? Is it hilly? As you walk and you pay attention to how your feet feels, to the surrounding, how the temperature around you feels, and then paying attention to the rhythm of your breath as your feet hit the ground. It helps you to stay grounded and present. When we are grounded and present, we are able to release tense emotions. And focusing your attention on the activity of walking, you shift your focus away from overwhelming emotions. So it is important to take intentional mindful walks. It takes about 10 minutes. Pay attention to your walking, and this will help you to ground yourself and stay present. And now the last tip to practice mindfulness is visualization. This is when you visualize your happy place. It can be a forest, a silent room, a river, or an ocean. So here you close your eyes and you visualize your happy place, and in that moment you engage with your senses. Like if your happy place is the forest, how does it smell around? How does the temperature feel? What do you hear around? Engage all your senses. If your happy place is an ocean, how does the waves sound? If it is just chilling on a warm day, how does the warmth of the sun feel on your skin? My happy place is at the riverbank where I am seated and my feet are dipped in the water. Water is flowing. I can feel the currents of the water, the strength that it has. You know, a river is so surprising and full of its little chaos. If there are trees around or something fell on it like a leaf, it can have some sticks, and sometimes they can come where your feet are and you feel them. And when I dip my feet up to the ground, I can feel all those little stones and slimy stones sometimes. And I can feel the temperature around me. Mostly when I visualize my happy place, it is a warm evening and my skin is feeling the warmth and the little chills. I can hear birds chirping around their way, and my favorite spot happens to be near a fall, so I can hear a noisy fall nearby, and they just help you to stay present. Visualization is a powerful technique and a powerful tool to reduce stress and shift your mind to a place of calm. So when you visualize, your mind and your body are in a relaxed state, since you have created a positive and peaceful environment in your thought. Like I said, you visualize your happy place. It is important to practice visualization technique when you are stressed or when you need to perform a difficult task. So that's it for mindfulness practice to boost our emotional resilience. The third strategy of boosting emotional resilience is building a strong support network. Surrounding yourself with friends, family, colleagues, and other trusted members provides a valuable emotional support and encouragement. So I have quick tips that you can implement in your life to build a strong support network. The first one is identifying your people. These are people who constantly support you, build you, and uplift you. So for this, knowing who you can turn to when you need a listening ear is the key to navigate any intense emotion that you may have. I remember there was a time when I had attended a burial and I came home with intense, crawling, scary feelings, and I was literally losing my mind. And I had a friend, and it was easy to just reach out, call them. I needed someone to talk with. So when I called this friend, they responded well by telling me whatever I'm feeling is valid, and I'm feeling it because of what I am thinking about. And the friend encouraged me to see the reality, like it is not happening. Whatever I am thinking and feeling is not happening in the physical world, even though the feelings are valid. And they went ahead and told me to do something that will make me feel safer, like saying a prayer. After that phone call, I was calmer, and the more I processed what we talked about, eventually I managed to sleep. So it is so important to know who you can call in the moment of need. The second tip to build strong social support is finding like-minded people. So join groups or communities that align with your values, with your interests, with your goals. This can be professional organization, hobby class, a support group, a volunteer group. When you build a connection with like-minded individuals, there is that sense of connection and belonging. Like you don't have to overdo something or undervalue something about yourself because you are with like-minded people in a like-minded community. And this makes it easier to share your emotions openly and get support. The third tip to build strong support network is fostering and creating opportunities to socialize and connect and interact with your people. So reach out to people in your core support system regularly, not just when you need help. Like it is so hard for you to wake up out of nowhere and you haven't talked with your friend for years and you just tell them I need this and this. Like learn to reach to them regularly even when you don't need help. Here you can make regular check-ins. You can plan for a time to go and hang out with them or make phone calls every now and then. When we communicate and spend time regularly with people in our circle, we are able to build stronger connections that are filled with trust and openness. The fourth tip is practicing empathy. It is important for you to take time and listen to others. What do they have to say, how they are feeling, what is troubling them, and try to see things from their angle. When you're practicing empathy, it is so important for you not to be a fixer. It is not every time when someone shares something, they are seeking for a quick solution. Sometimes people just need someone to listen to them and see things from their perspective and validate their feelings. Only that. So don't be a fixer every time someone tries to open up. I mean, probably most of the solutions someone has already thought about them, but they just need someone to listen to them, see things in their perspective, and validate them. Also, when you practice empathy, you are able to strengthen the bond between your connections. Tip number 5 is reciprocating support. Here, you need to know that relationships are a two-way road. When you need help, someone can help, and when people need help, you need to reciprocate support. It's not like a payback, but you need to be there when they need you. So show up for others, offer a listening ear, help others with solutions when they need, and simply check on them. At least with this, your relationships with others is balanced and enduring. There is that sense of trust because they know if I need help from someone, they show up. There is that sense of connection and a stronger bond. Practical tip number 6, develop social skills. It is important for you to know how to communicate, how to respond. Like when you're having a difficult conversation with someone about difficult topics, how do you communicate well? How do you connect with others easily? And how do you ask for support? So it is important to practice active listening. When you are communicating with people, it is important to just listen. Don't try to figure out how you will respond to them. Immediately they stop talking. Alternative solutions that they could have used. Maybe you are judging the solution that they had used and you can't wait for them to be done so that you can share your alternative solutions. Sometimes just learn to listen actively and validate their feelings. The other tip is seeking help when needed. Learn to ask for help. Don't isolate yourself. When you need someone to talk with, don't keep it all to yourself. As long as you have your circle, and this circle does not come out of nowhere, it requires you to foster and create opportunities to connect with others. So in this tip, you need to be able to ask for help when you need it. Asking for help does not mean that you're weak. Sometimes we need emotional comfort, sometimes we need a distraction, sometimes we need advice, sometimes we need literal physical help. Learn to ask for help. It is important to be open and vulnerable in a way that you can share feelings, in a way that you can seek help, in a way that you can share what is on your mind. Because when we are open and vulnerable, we open doors for others to at least come and help. So be vulnerable, be open, and learn to ask for help. And now the last tip to build strong support system is having healthy boundaries. This is very important. You need to be mindful of your own emotional needs and set limits with people who drain your energy. So I am using these words for concept and not to call people names, and you also should not call people names. People who drain your energy, they can be parasite energy sucker, vampire energy sucker, monster energy sucker, because when you're having a conversation with them, like, it is all about the negative stuff or them demeaning you. Like, someone can just talk and talk non-stop just about themselves, and they don't give you a room to talk or respond or share, because it is a cycle of stuff, mostly about themselves, mostly about negative things in the world. It is like they just want to implant that negativity inside you. So here it is important to protect your emotional well-being. When you have healthy boundaries, at least you ensure your circle is the source of strength and not a source of stress for you. Remember that. So as you set healthy boundaries, remember to politely decline those invitations and requests. And it is okay to tell people that you need your personal time to recharge. So now we go to strategy number 4 of boosting emotional resilience, and this is having a positive outlook in life. Here you need to reframe negative thoughts with solution-focused thoughts or positive thoughts, so that you can navigate your emotions with confidence and positivity. One practical tip that you can practice to have a positive outlook in life is reframing your negative thoughts. For example, you can have a negative thought that says, "Oh, I can't do this. This is too hard for me." You need to reframe it. Like, for example, you can say, "I can do this. All I need is time. I can navigate this challenge. I have navigated bigger challenges than this, so I can do this." Reframe any negative thought that comes to you immediately. The second practical tip that you can practice to have a positive outlook in life is practicing gratitude. You know, in my journey of practicing gratitude, sometimes I didn't know exactly what to put, especially the general one in life, because after some time you find that you have listed everything. Like, there are 2 sets of practicing gratitude. The first one is in the morning. Generally in life, you list 3 things that you're grateful for, and then in the evening before you sleep, you list 3 things that you're grateful for that particular day, like 3 things that happened. So when I learned the process of writing the 3 things that happened in that particular day that made me happy, it helped me to have a wider positive look in life. Because the ones for general in life, you can wake up and say, "I'm grateful for life, I'm grateful for job, I'm grateful for shelter, I'm grateful for food, I'm grateful for family, I'm grateful for," all those general stuff that you put in life that you're grateful for, the basic ones. And if you're practicing it daily, generally what you're grateful for in life, you find yourself repeating the same things. But to properly practice gratitude, you need to give that thing that you're grateful for a substance. Like, for example, you can say, "I am grateful for life." Like, that is just too blank, and after a month and we want to say you're grateful for life again, it will be just too blank. That is why you need to substantiate that one. You need to attach it with something so that you can practice gratitude. So let me use my journal for an example of practicing gratitude. Instead of just saying, "I am alive," you can say, "I am grateful because of how it feels being alive, breathing in without difficulty and feeling energy in my body." That is a full accounted gratitude, because the next time I'll be grateful because I'm alive, probably I'll find another reason. I am grateful that I am alive because I can see beautiful birds. Maybe you are out there and you see a beautiful bird or something beautiful happening around you, and you'll be like, "I am grateful that I am alive to witness this." So learn to accompany something personal and something that you relate with, so that your gratitude can really feel like a gratitude because it is really coming from you. Because everyone is grateful for life with their own reason. You can't just say, I'm grateful for life. You have to accompany it with something. You can't just say, I'm grateful for my job. You need to accompany it with something because there is someone else who is also grateful for their job. So why are you grateful for your job? Is it because the environment is so supportive, a good boss, good and team working colleagues, an environment that supports your growth? You need to substantiate it more based on how you're feeling exactly. Like search deeper. Don't just be grateful because of something blankly. Search deeper. Why exactly? Take it like this. You are grateful about something, so don't just mention it. Mention the feeling that is making you feel grateful. For example, you can say, I am grateful for my family because of how they give me a sense of belonging, the conversations we have, the phone calls I get from them. You need to substantiate it with something. You need to go deeper when practicing gratitude. So take time every day, practice gratitude. This helps you to have a positive outlook in life. It helps to shift your focus from all the negative things that are happening. You know, as humans, we have that tendency of just saying stuff that didn't go as planned or as you wanted. So when you intentionally practice gratitude, you shift your focus from all the negative things that are going on in life, because you don't ignore them. They are there. You don't delete them, but you shift your focus from them to a positive mindset where you appreciate the positive things that are going on in your life. Practical tip number 3 to have a positive outlook in life is embracing setbacks as learning opportunities. Every challenge that we face in this life creates a learning opportunity. So instead of viewing setbacks as a barrier or a roadblock, it is important to ask yourself, what can I learn from this experience? So when things don't go as planned, pause. Take that moment as a learning opportunity. How can you respond better next time? How can you be ready next time for a situation like that? How can you stop yourself from doing something like that next time? So learn to take mistakes and failures as opportunities to learn and grow. Another tip to have a positive outlook in life is visualizing success. Normalize visualizing success when you have projects. Normalize visualizing yourself doing those projects, making efforts. You can imagine the process of that project. You can imagine the efforts that you put in that project. You can imagine how it will get better. And when you visualize success, you boost your confidence in doing something, and you also have that positive self-belief that you can do it. And the last practical tip that we can integrate in our daily lives to have a positive outlook in life is practicing self-compassion. This involves treating ourselves with kindness and understanding when things are hard. I have this concept where I always deposit positive things in my compassion bank. Like if something goes well, I recognize it. If I complete a project or achieve a certain milestone, I celebrate myself. In this life, you need to be your number one fan. If you're not your number one fan, you're not living life as you should. With self-compassion, when you tell yourself positive things, when you congratulate and celebrate yourself when you achieve something, you deposit them in the compassion bank, so that when you experience those tough days, those frustrating and disappointing days, you can be able to be kinder to yourself. You can remind yourself of things you did better. Encourage yourself that your time will be better. Be compassionate to yourself. You can use a mantra like, I am doing my best and that is enough. So learn to practice self-compassion so that you can have a positive outlook in life. And now we go to strategy number 5 for boosting emotional resilience, which is practicing healthy coping mechanism. Here you need to find things that you find joy in when doing, like a hobby, creative stuff, exercising. Find something that you find joy in and practice it. By doing that, you regulate your emotions well, allowing you to navigate through life stuff. So we have several practical tips that we can implement to practice healthy coping mechanisms. The first one is engaging in physical activities. I need you to mark this. Find a physical activity that you enjoy, not a physical activity because it is done, because you should, a physical activity that you enjoy doing. It can be walking, practicing yoga, dancing, doing heavy household stuff, tending to your flowers or plants in your garden. Just find a physical activity that you really enjoy. Physical activities helps to release those hormones that makes us feel good, like endorphins, and it helps to reduce stress, which helps to improve our mood and build emotional resilience. The other practical tip is creative outlets. Find a creative outlet that you enjoy doing. It can be crafting, playing music instruments, cooking, writing, there is painting. Find creative outlets that you enjoy doing. Creative outlets are powerful stress relievers because they help you to release your emotions in creative ways. Another practical tip to practice healthy coping mechanism is connecting with nature. Learn to spend time outdoors at the park, gardens, or go for a walk in a natural setting like a forest. Breathe in deeply and take in all your surroundings. Nature has a calming effect on our nervous system. It helps us to release stress and calm our mind and generally promote emotional well-being. Another practical tip that you can practice to have healthy coping mechanism is laughing and enjoying life. If you love to watch comedy shows, sports, anything that you love to watch, funny videos, just to watch it, laugh and have fun. Laughter is so good for releasing tension and creating that happiness and relaxation feeling inside. Always integrate things that make you laugh and have fun in life. So the last practical tip that you can practice to have healthy coping mechanism is act of kindness. Help a stranger, help a neighbor, help a friend, a listening ear, donate to a cause that you are interested in, and volunteer where you can. Engaging in acts of kindness boosts your mental and emotional well-being, fosters a sense of connection with the community, and releases stress. So it is important to be engaging in acts of kindness in this life. Finally, we go to the last strategy of boosting emotional resilience, which is flexibility and adaptability. Embracing flexibility is accepting that life is full of surprises. So you should be willing to adjust your plans and expectations every now and then. Cultivating this practice and mindset in your life helps you to navigate uncertainty and changes in life with grace and with less stress. One practical tip that you can practice in your life so that you can be more flexible and adaptable is accepting your emotional responses. Don't be someone who the moment they feel something, you want to fight it, you want to shut down that emotion. Accept emotions as they are. Let it flow. Allow yourself to feel it. It has happened. You are having that emotion. Do not resist the emotion. Just allow it to happen. When we accept our emotional responses, whether you're feeling disappointed, anxious, or confused, better manage and navigate through these emotions. Because when we have that emotional resistance, it creates stress. But it is important to recognize and accept any kind of emotion that you get. And when you accept them, you save your energy, and that energy will help you to better manage and navigate those emotions. So practice telling yourself, it is okay to feel this way. I will give myself time to process these feelings. Whenever you have overwhelming and intense emotions. Also, in the process of you processing these emotions, you are able to reflect and grow emotionally. The other practical tip for this is having a solution-focused mindset. After you have allowed yourself to accept the emotions and process them, you need to reframe what you're feeling into something positive or solution-focused. Yes, you feel frustrated or fear. Now, what can you do? So the other tip is focusing on emotional growth through change. After you have accepted and processed your emotion, now it is time to focus on a solution or a change. For example, after experiencing a challenging change of events in life and all those emotions have built up and you have processed them, take a moment and journal to reflect what went well, where things did not go well. How can you make it better in case you find yourself in a similar situation or with similar emotional feelings? So that's it for today as we wrap up on the strategies and practical tips to implement to boost emotional resilience. Remember that emotional resilience is something that can be developed and strengthened over time. So building your emotional resilience is an ongoing journey that requires patience and self-reflection. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned for our next video where we will continue with exploration of resilience in different aspects of life. I will post the next video on 1st June. Until next time, stay empowered.